What I said on Sunday morning and Monday morning, and which has been supported by everyone who's been down there so far and looked at the situation, is there's some flooding damage. But what I was objecting to both on Sunday, Monday, and I object to today is any type of characterization of what happened in Jonas here to be anywhere near what happened in Sandy. I mean, it's not even close. It's not even in the same ballpark. Now, if your house is flooded, that doesn't matter to you. If your business is flooded, that doesn't matter to you. But I was not going to allow there to be a conversation, which was mostly driven by the media, that somehow this was like worse than Sandy. I heard that characterization on television a number of times. This was worse than Sandy. I mean, this was not even a fraction of Sandy. And so, no, what I've said to the folks down there all along is, we did our jobs and we're going to continue to doing our jobs. I mean, we've had people on the ground beginning on Sunday to begin the preliminary damage assessments, to decide whether or not we can apply for federal disaster relief for those areas. We're probably about 2/3 of the way done with that review, and probably will be done in the next couple of days, if not sooner. The state is going to apply for those aids if, in fact, we meet the thresholds. But remember, it is a formulaic thing. You have to reach a certain number in a certain number of categories. If you meet it, you're eligible. If you don't meet it, you're not. And so we have to go through and we have to certify all those things. So we're in the process of doing that and started that on Sunday. We also have sent down the EDA. The EDA has now met with 70 of the 91 businesses that were affected already. And we've worked with them to help them deal with their insurance claims, to help them deal with any type of aid that might be available to them from the state and from the Business Action Center. And we're ready to work with any of those businesses. We've got 21 more left to get in touch with, but 70 out of the 91, and we're only 48 hours since the storm ended. The DEP has been down there and has already inspected for beach erosion. Now understand, many of these beaches were already engineered by the Army Corps of Engineers. As a result, that's going to be an interaction between us and the Army Corps of Engineers. That interaction has already begun because we know how to do this. We've done this time and time again. We're assisting the towns with identifying locations for snow disposal in a manner that's consistent with environmental regulations to the ones that are overwhelmed. We're continuing the post-storm cleanup for those towns and snow removal and helping them in any way we can. In fact, in Newark, we moved major assets of the Department of Transportation in there because the city of Newark could not get their streets cleared and people were complaining. I got a call from the county executive. He asked for assistance. We lent that assistance immediately, and the situation in Newark is significantly better now than it was 24 hours ago. Beach erosion is something that we can't count in applying for federal disaster relief because they're Army Corps of Engineer beaches. So the beach erosion stuff is not allowed to be counted as part of the damage. We have to separately work on that with the Army Corps of Engineers. We're already doing that. We've engaged the Department of Banking and Insurance to deal with the insurance claims that will come from this, because most of this will be either flood or homeowners or auto insurance claims, depending upon what the loss is. We've already been interacting with NFIP, the National Flood Insurance Program. 340 claims are already in motion at NFIP. We don't have jurisdiction over them because they're a federal agency, as you all probably remember from Sandy, but we will monitor their performance and we will work with the homeowners insurers for that part that's covered, or the auto insurers for that part that's covered. That's already ongoing, and we've been working with those elected officials. DCA is working with folks who may need to find temporary housing. There's not many, but those who do. HMFA, our Housing Resource Center, is already working to help any displaced families that need help. We've sent out a local finance notice to all the local officials on steps that may be available to them if they need short-term financing to deal with any of the issues, and the state will help with that. You should also know that on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday, I was in touch with a number of the mayors, myself and my staff personally, folks down in Stone Harbor, in Sea Isle City, in Avalon, to make sure that we knew that's where the gauges were going to go from moderate to major at one point. The rest of the time it was at moderate flood stage. We dealt with them and I asked them, what other resources did they need? Did they need anything else from the state? We got no requests from any of the mayors in Cape May for any assistance from the state during the storm. We proactively reached out to them, again, because we know how to do this and we've been through this before. So the fact is that, When folks decide to play games and play politics with this stuff, as I said last night, that's unfortunate. And I'm not going to stand up and let people try to make it seem like it's something much worse than it is. But for each and every homeowner or business owner that was affected by it, that does not mean for a second that we're not going to work to make sure that you're made as whole as you can be made and that you're afforded every bit of state and federal assistance that is legally available to you. That's our job. That's what we do.